All righty, welcome into the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave, cavetalkradio.com and the Cave Talk Radio app. Gary Ayd here with you. It's great to have you aboard. And we're going to noon as normal. Good stuff. So, huge day with interviews today. We'll have Seth Kamens in hour 2. We have three Smash players today. We have Brady Grote, Byron Rach, and Andrew Llewellyn of the OC Smash, various age groups. So you'll want to hear those. Those are coming up mostly this hour, one next hour. Of course, we'll have the top 5 and the question of the day as well. Rich Anselmo will join us in our hour number 2, as he's done the last couple of days. So that is what's on tap. Getting started here, though, opening rant. This is why we get on Anthony Davis. This is why we complain about him when he's injured all the time, when he's not playing well. This is the reason, because what he's capable of. The old saying, to those that much is given, much is expected, applies here. This guy is so incredibly good. He is one of the 5 best players in the NBA or so when right. And we saw it last night. We've seen it multiple times this postseason. And look, as him and LeBron go, so go the Lakers. LeBron's consistent. We know what you're going to get from LeBron. Every night you're going to get somewhere between 22 and 30 points. You're going to get somewhere between 5 and 10 assists, and you're going to get somewhere between 5 and 12 rebounds every night. You know that. Now, sometimes he shoots better than others. He does take more jump shots than he did at earlier stages of his career at this point, but the guy's in his 20th year. So, what do you want? But Anthony Davis is unquestionably in his physical prime, and he is unquestionably monstrous when he plays to his abilities. And he did that last night. A huge win for the LA Lakers, game 1 of the series. They obviously are on the road. Golden State, the higher seed. And you knew you had to get this one, because not only do you not want to get behind the 8 ball, game 1 is always an important one, but you also want to get your split out of the way. And you thought maybe coming off that big game 7, there would be a little fatigue with Golden State. I didn't see too much of that, but maybe that played into it. This is an important game for the Lakers to win if they're going to win this series. And Anthony Davis powered them home. He was the force. He had 30 points, 20 rebounds. I'm rounding, they were odd numbers. Just totally dominant. Totally and completely dominant. And this is why you get on him, because you know he's capable of this. This isn't a surprise. This isn't like, wow, what a, unbelievable Anthony Davis played out of his mind. No, this is what he can do. Now, he played great. You don't want to take it for granted either, but when you watch it, you know he can do this. And that's why when he's out for half the year, when he doesn't play, you get frustrated, because it is frustrating. It's one thing if a guy can only do so much. Like, if Malik Beasley, for example, missed time, that stinks. But, you don't get mad at him if he was injury prone the same way that Anthony Davis is, because it doesn't have the same impact. Anthony Davis being in or out means everything to the Los Angeles Lakers. It does, because as great as he was offensively, he is that important defensively. He is the absolute heart and soul of their defense. 100%. And, last night, him and Kevon Looney went at it. They went at it. I mean, what an incredible performance from both of them. Both of them with 20 rebounds, banging all over the place. It was great basketball. Just tremendous basketball. And I haven't even talked about the first game, which we'll get to in a second, involving our New York Knicks. But I just wanted to open with this. there is no question about it that the Lakers are a title contender right now. And it's because of a healthy Anthony Davis. You know, LeBron has a huge role in it. They wouldn't win without LeBron either. They wouldn't win without their bench and the remade roster with the athleticism and everything. You still question their shooting at times. That's the one thing you still worry about. But overall, the thing you like about this team is you always need that other guy. You always need one other guy to kind of come up and make outsized plays, make outsized contributions. And I think the Lakers have enough of those guys that no matter what, one of them will have it on any given night. Last night it was Dennis Schroeder. At times it's been Malik Beasley. Sometimes it's been Rui Hachimura. Other times it's been Austin Reeves. They have guys. And that's what you like about this team. They're not the best shooting team in the world, and that does concern you. But every night there's one guy. You know what you're getting from LeBron. When healthy, you know what you're getting from AD. To a lesser extent, you know what you're getting from D'Angelo Russell. He's definitely the third best guy, but he's a distant third, obviously, to Davis and LeBron. And he's not as consistent, maybe, as you'd like a third to be, but he is your third. And you can pretty much take for granted 15 or more points from him almost any night. Last night he had 19 on 9 of 19 shooting. But it's okay, who else is going to step up tonight? And yesterday, it was Dennis Schroeder, who in 31 minutes off the bench went 5 or 10 with 19 points. So sometimes it's Malik Beasley. He didn't play yesterday. Earlier in the season, at times, Lonnie Walker would do it. I don't know. He's fallen out of favor for some reason. He doesn't get in the game. Hachimura's had his moments. He didn't play too much last night, only 11 minutes. Did get 6 points in that time on 2 shots. But the bottom line is they got enough. And as a team in this game, collectively, they shot only 24% from 3. And they won anyway. That's your concern. Their three-point shooting is bad. LeBron James' three-point shooting lately has been awful. He was 1 of 8 from 3 yesterday. Jared Vanderbilt was 1 of 3. D'Angelo Russell was 1 of 5. The only guy to make more than 1 was Austin Reeves. He was 2 for 5. He was the only one. So their three-point shooting is horrible. But their regular field goal shooting is pretty good, and they get to the free throw line. And people say, well, the refs favor the Lakers. No. The style of play the Lakers play favors the Lakers getting to the free throw line because that's how they play. They attack the basket. They do a lot of post work with Davis. They absolutely play a style of basketball that creates contact and creates free throws. And they make them. Yesterday, they were 86%. So their free throw shooting and solid field goal percentage allowed them to overcome their horrible three-point shooting. It goes to show you there's more than one way to skin a cat. The NBA is all about threes. Everyone talks about threes, but you can win other ways. It's like in the NFL. Everyone talks about the passing game. You need a quarterback, need a quarterback, need a quarterback, need a quarterback. Well, you can win without one, without a great one. I mean, there's a good chance the Niners would have won that game with their third stringer. They were on their 5th stringer when they lost to the Eagles, right? 4th and 5th stringer. So anyway, that's just something to keep an eye on. And then, the three-point shooting. Well, how'd the Warriors perform in this game? Well, let's take a look at that. Golden State, as a team, shot almost 40% from 3. 39.6. But they only shot 40.6 from the field. So they only shot 1 point better from the field than from 3. They shot 83% from the free throw line, but they didn't get there a lot. They only got there 6 times. The Lakers, by contrast, got there 29 times. And people are going to use that that discrepancy to fuel their conspiracy theories. But the truth of the matter is this. The Lakers play in a way that's going to get those type of calls. They're going to. So that's just how it is. So, I mean, they play that way. Now, as for the Knicks, I have to tell you, this game was wholly uncomfortable. They won, but they're at home, already lost game one, backs pretty much against the wall. Randall and Brunson played, and both played very well. Jimmy Butler didn't play, and you barely won this game. I have to be honest. I thought coming in the Knicks would win the series, and maybe they still will. But that game in a win gives me a lot less belief in the Knicks than I had before. It really does. And if I'm Miami, I gained so much confidence in a loss. I mean, there's no moral victories, as Douglas MacArthur would say. There's no substitute for victory. But there is fuel for your confidence that can help propel you to future victories that can often be derived from defeats, which is where the idea of a moral victory really comes from. And when you look at the Heat in this game, no Jimmy Butler, no Tyler Hero. And yet they had chances to win this thing against the Knicks. You can't say enough for this team. They only lost by 6. I mean, they had none of their top guys. Caleb Martin was their leading scorer, 22 points. Gabe Vincent made a good contribution. He had 21. Strus had 17. Bam had 15. Duncan Robinson made a few shots off the bench. He had 9, made 3 threes. They narrowly lost without the guy that's been averaging 1 million points during the postseason. It's crazy. It's truly crazy. So anyway, all right. Well, let's take our first break. We'll come back. We got a lot more to get to. We got the question of the day. It's the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you are ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain pain of pricking your fingers over and over again? Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
All right, we're back here on the Gary Ayd Show. Great to have you aboard. Gary Ayd with you. And it's time now for the question of the day.
Slow pace of play is a problem. I am KO, back in 1 minute with your sports question of the day.
Would you like to hear better for as little as 10 cents a day? Now you can with the all-new Audion hearing aids. The average hearing aid lasts about 3 years. Ours, at only $99 a pair, means you're paying as little as 10 cents a day to hear better. And to make things even better, we'll give you a 45-day money-back guarantee. Skip the doctor and get hearing aids delivered straight to your door. We've eliminated all the middlemen to offer you a factory direct price of only $99 a pair. Join over 300,000 people just like you who took advantage of our 45-day trial offer. Now you can hear better too for just 10 cents a day. Call now and order your $99 pair of Audion hearing aids with a 45-day money-back guarantee. Plus, get free 3 to 5 day shipping.
800-226-1471. 800-226-1471. 800-226-1471. That's 800-226-1471.
There is a rule in golf that states when it is your turn to play, it is recommended that you make the stroke in no more than 40 seconds after you are able to play without interference or distraction. Lee Trevino, who won 6 major championships, says it's time to start enforcing that policy. He told PGA Tour host Michael Breed, slow players must be penalized to keep the game moving. Question: in considering the impact of the NBA's shot clock and the MLB's pitch clock, would you or would you not be in favor of the PGA implementing its own version of time management?
You know, I don't know that I care about golf enough to have a real opinion on this. I think that nominally, yes, I would be in favor of this. I'm in favor of anything that within reason adds efficiency to the presentation of an entertainment product. So any sport is, if it's televised, is an entertainment product. So in other words, I don't think a pitch clock is necessary, say, in Little League or travel baseball. I don't even necessarily think a shot clock is necessary in lower levels of basketball. And in fact, it's not used in a lot of high schools. So I think these points of efficiency inducing, these things used to induce efficiency are only as relevant as the distribution of that particular level of play or activity. If it's being sold via television, radio, or in stadium attendance as some type of entertainment product, then it's imperative that it remain entertaining. And entertaining to a large degree means consistent motion, consistent happenings, pace of play, not getting bogged down, just standing around. So with that as sort of my backdrop, being I don't have a particular interest in the sport of golf beyond nominally following standings during major tournaments, my inclination is to say yes. I think that would be would be key. But I think in a lot of cases, in most cases, I don't know that that I'm qualified to go much beyond that, because the truth of the matter is you're not really looking at a sport that is super fast moving to begin with, right? Golf is even slower moving than baseball. So maybe the people that actually watch golf on TV, that's the other thing you have to consider in this, this is where my knowledge would be limited. I understand how television audience analysis works, but I don't know necessarily the specific minutia of a golf television audience. My suspicion is that they'd be more lenient and patient with things like this than fans of basically any other sport, given the nature of the sport. And so maybe it's not as necessary. Certainly, one thing to consider if you're the PGA would be, what's the juice versus the squeeze? In other words, how much are we really improving the viewer experience and gaining viewership or extended time spent listening from our existing viewership by making these rules, versus how much are we maybe ticking off our players? Because the players are going to get ticked off about it. We saw that in baseball with the rules they've made this year. There was actually just an article the other day, I think it was on ESPN, about anonymous interviews of, well, not anonymous, but interviews of players and coaches, asking them what they like most and least about the rule changes. And Blake Snell, the pitcher, said none that I can think of when asked what he liked about him. So you're going to make people mad, players mad with any kind of rule changes like this. And that's not the end of the world necessarily, but it's a consideration. And if you're not going to get a lot from it, then it might be worth considering making a different decision. So anyway, it's an interesting conversation. It really is. So my nominal opinion, my default approach is, yeah, let's do it. Yes. So that would be what I would say. Make the changes. All right, so let's take a break. We'll come back. We got the OC Smash and OC Bombers throughout the week. Today is the Smash. We have them coming up next. It's the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
Alrighty, we're back here on the Gary Ayd Show, just waiting to air the interviews with Brady Grote and Byron Brach. That's coming up momentarily here on the program. Just waiting for them to kind of basically load up here. You know, these interviews, I just want to make one statement about some of these real quick. These interviews are a lot of fun. I enjoy doing them. They're tremendous for the community. And the feedback I get from it privately, a lot of kids seem to really enjoy it. And the one thing that's interesting too, that comes from these is you really get a sense of the different developing personalities of these young men and women. And, sometimes you end up talking to someone who's like really, really gung ho. And other times they're very passionate, but it has to be kind of nursed out of them a little bit. And I just think it's really fun to have those conversations and to hear these kids talk about something that they're so interested in. And, it really speaks to the value, the essence of the value of sports, right? Like taking away the money, the fame, the commercialism, the publicity. At some point, when we all got into sports, we got into sports for the enjoyment of it, for the competition, for the camaraderie, for the exercise, because there was something to do, to fit in, to stand out. We all had our own motivations. And I think that covering youth sports the way we are with our partnership with the Smash and also with the Bombers, at least for me, has brought to the surface a very concrete reminder of maybe our own foray into sports when we were young, many years ago, depending how old you are, many, many years ago, maybe. But, it's just a wonderful thing. It really is. And I'm just very happy to be able to provide this platform and allow these type of stories to be shared, because it's important. It brings the community together. It helps publicize and hopefully in some way grow what is essentially in some ways almost a ministry, right? It's not in a literal sense, but it's a tool and a opportunity in life that really seamlessly blends recreation, socialization, discipline, training, and commitment all in one. And show me another form of entertainment that can do all of those things. The closest thing you can come up with probably is being a member of a band, right? But there's something unique about sports, particularly at the youth level, that has an effect on one's ability to develop, that influences development, good or bad, depending on how it's executed and how it's done. And I personally think this is done in such a wonderful way from my sort of detached vantage point here. I think it's done in such a wonderful way. And I think it's really, really amazing. I really do. So anyway, let's go ahead and get Brady on. We'll do Byron next. It's the Gary Ayd Show. Here's Brady. All righty, welcome back to the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave, and I am joined now by one of our OC Smash Players of the Week. A lot of rainouts this week, but Brady Grote is with us from the 10U squad. He was a selection from a couple of weeks ago. We're finally getting him in here on our recording schedule, so it's great to have him aboard. Hey, Brady, how's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
Good. So first of all, congratulations, and I'm just curious, When did you first start playing baseball? At what age?
I'm about like 5.
About 5. Okay. That's cool. Now, how long have you been doing the travel thing?
I started in 7U. Yep,
Oh.
7U.
Okay. So about 3 years now then?
Mhm.
Yep. Cool. And has that all been with the Smash or was it a couple places?
It was just with Smash.
Just with Smash. Cool. And what positions do you usually play?
I played a lot of center field, but this year I play shortstop, second, pitcher, and third, also with center field.
Wow, all over the place. Do you have a favorite position?
Probably center field actually.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of balls hit out there? Because I know when I played Little League, and I never played travel ball, I just played Little League. But if they stuck you in the outfield, it means you weren't any good because they weren't going to hit the ball there.
Well, in the past years, no, but this year and the years on,
they're getting you a lot of. That's probably why they started putting you on the infield, right? Because they wanted you to get more action too. That makes a lot of sense. Because with me, it was just a matter of I couldn't throw, so they threw me out in the outfield and said, Gary, you stink. That's what they told me. Not nice, but so you've had a heck of a year, a couple of good years. What's your favorite part about baseball? Like what's your favorite part about the game? Is it hitting? Is it fielding, pitching? Like what's your favorite part about the sport?
I like fielding actually. But the only time that I would like hitting is when I hit.
Yeah, no one likes getting out, right? Getting out stinks. What's the worst way to get out to you? Which way of getting out bothers you the most? Is it striking out, flying out? Like what bothers you the most when you get out? What type of out?
Striking out, walking, definitely.
So you're up there. You're up there taking swings. You're not trying to walk, or you just want to hit the ball somewhere hard, huh?
Yes.
I like that approach. Yeah. No, the striking out looking is not fun. Maybe a double play might be the worst way to get out. What do you spend the most time working on? Like where do you practice the most? Is it a fielding? Is it hitting? Like where do you spend your most practice time?
Probably fielding.
Yeah. What kind of drills do they have you do?
So like we would play shortstop and double plays. We'd come around the bag and catch a throw on our momentum.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're doing the do they teach you how to where to shift for a double play formation and all that?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How was that like going from playing mostly outfield to playing a lot of left infield? Like what was that process like for you? Was it a quick adjustment or did it take a lot of time to learn the position?
It surprised me definitely, but I kind of adapted to infield and I've been doing pretty well.
That's pretty cool. Of the infield positions, which one do you like the most?
Third base.
Third base. You got to pay attention over there.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Now, who's your favorite major league player?
I'm going to say Aaron Judge.
Yeah, he's hurt right now, right?
Yeah, I heard that.
It's no good. Cool. So I guess you're a Yankee fan then?
Yes.
All right. Yep. You and the whole Smash team. There's like 2 Met fans on the whole team. See, I'm a Met fan, so I like Pete Alonso. But it's like the whole team likes the Yankee fans. Have you made a lot of new friends playing with the Smash? Like, are some of your closest friends some of your teammates too?
Yes, definitely. I made a lot of friends. And of the opposing.
What's that?
And of the opposing teams, I've made some friends.
Oh, opposing teams too. That's pretty cool. But that leads me kind of to my next question. What's been your favorite place to play so far that you've gotten the chance to go to?
Definitely the Cal Ripken tournament. You
guys are going there this weekend, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Hopefully the weather holds out. I know you guys got rained out this week. What's your favorite part about like the actual travel? Like, is it the bus ride? Is it the dinners afterwards? Like, what's your favorite part about like the actual traveling part of it?
I think the dinner's after, yes, because it's like you have to celebrate your win, but if you lose, it's still a dinner.
Right. Yeah.
And travel, like, I don't like to travel that much if it's like very long because it gets really boring.
I understand. I feel the same way. Hey, Brody, I just want to ask your dad a couple of things real quick.
All right.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Gary, how are you?
How's it going? So, well, first of all, that's a well-spoken son you got there. Brady does a very good job. So I wanted to say that, but I wanted to ask you, I know you have a couple of sons in travel. What's that experience like from the family's perspective?
Yeah, it's it's fun to watch for sure. It's been fun to watch them grow and like Brady said, having the relationships on the bench and in the field with their buddies. And but I challenge wise, it's definitely again, having two kids in the program, my wife and I and the two boys are definitely separated on the weekends. They have double headers on days, and we'll see each other at breakfast and then again at dinner. It's the weekends you're supposed to be together as a family, and a lot of times you're definitely split up. It's not all the time, but it's definitely a bit of a challenge when it comes to family time. But at the end of the day, the kids love it, and we love watching them play. So it's all worth it.
No, that's pretty cool. What advice would you give a new family that was maybe putting a kid into a travel program for the first time? Like, what would you tell them to be prepared for?
Save some money because it's definitely not cheap. The obviously with tuition and then obviously hotels and meals and gas and tolls and then everything. It adds up. But again, it's once you see the smiles on their faces when they do well, it definitely does make it all worth it. It really is all for them and for their benefit.
Now, were you guys a baseball family, or did they kind of your two sons kind of take to it on their own, or was there some family history there?
Yeah, I mean, I played baseball when I was younger. That was kind of my sport. Their mom was a soccer basketball person, and dad won the dad won the baseball game.
All right, there you go. That's cool. Yeah. Do they play pretty much just baseball, or do they do other sports as well?
No, they did basketball over the winter, and right now they're aside from baseball, they're getting some flag football in when they can, and then Brady's looking to play tackle football starting in the fall.
All right, very cool. Well, I'm going to ask him one or two more things before we wrap up here. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Hey, Brady.
Hi.
Hey, so I was just talking to your dad. So what's your second favorite sport after baseball? Is it football? Is it basketball? What's your next favorite sport?
Well, I haven't played football that much, but I would say football.
Yeah. Cool. Who's your favorite team in football? You were a Giants or a Jets fan?
Giants.
Giants. Yep. Me too. Yep. Very cool. And I guess my last thing for you, what's been your best memory from playing baseball, whether it's with the Smash or elsewhere? Like, what's maybe a game or a play or a moment that you really enjoyed the most?
Definitely. We were in this one tournament, and it was real on field, and I hit a good ball, and I got the inside of the park home run.
Oh, that's cool. Where did you hit the ball? Like, what part of the field?
I hit an oppo down like a little bit higher than the first baseman's head, but it just rolled past the right fielder.
Okay, so you're a right-handed hitter?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Do you throw righty as well?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Every once in a while, I meet one of those people that bats one way and throws the other. I always think that's interesting. So, that's cool. Well, hey, congratulations. Enjoy Ripken this weekend. All right, and maybe we'll talk to you again.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Brady Grote and his dad, Chris. This is the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave. All righty. Welcome back to the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave. I am joined now by one of our OC Smash Players of the Week, Byron Brach. He is part of the 12U Navy squad. How are you, Byron?
Good.
Awesome. Let me ask you first things first. How long have you been playing baseball for?
Since I was like 3 or 4.
Oh, really? Pretty much your whole life. Okay. And how long have you been doing the travel ball?
Like 3 years with this. Like my first year with Smash, so.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this is your third year of travel ball and your first year with Smash. How do you like the Smash so far?
I like it. It's pretty good.
What's the biggest difference so far between Smash and where you were playing before?
I think I have like a lot more friends on Smash, and like it's more fun, and we have more games like weekly, and we have a lot of practices.
Do you enjoy the practices?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what position do you play?
Third base, and I pitch.
Mm-hmm. Where do you find yourself spending your most time with practice? Fielding, hitting, pitching? Like, where do you spend your most time?
Fielding, like regular ground balls and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, have you always played third base, or is that like a newer position for you?
No, it's a newer position.
Okay. Well, where did you play before that?
I used to play second base and shortstop.
Okay. What's been the biggest adjustment to playing third base from, say, second base?
Like the throw is a lot farther, and like when the ball gets hit to me, it's usually like a lot harder.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because all your pull hitters are whacking it down that line, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And what would you say your favorite part of baseball is? Is it hitting, pitching, fielding? Like, what's your favorite part of the game?
Probably hitting.
Yeah. Do you hit right-handed, left-handed, or what?
I hit left-handed.
Do you throw left-handed as well?
No, I throw right-handed.
Oh, okay. So there you go. Every once in a while you get, see, I'm like that too. See, I was a basketball player and I shoot with my right hand, but I do everyday things with my left, like eating and writing and stuff like that. I'm mostly a lefty, but when I play sports, I'm right-handed.
Yeah, same with me. I'm usually left-handed when I do stuff in sports.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So you bat lefty and throw righty.
Yep.
Okay, I got that right. Okay, cool. Who's your favorite baseball player in the major leagues? Like, who's your favorite major leaguer?
Probably Rafael Devers or Jose Ramirez.
Interesting. Okay, those are some. You're quite the baseball fan then. What do you like so much about those two?
They both play third base, and like Rafael Devers throws right and he bats lefty. And then I want to be a switch hitter like Jose Ramirez.
Okay. Do you practice hitting righty sometimes then?
Yeah, off the tee sometimes.
Okay. How's that going? When did you start doing that?
Like a year ago.
You think you'll be able to try to hit righty in a game at some point soon, or what?
Yeah, I think I'll probably like hit righty in a game when I'm like a freshman or something. Okay, when I get better at it.
A couple more years. Okay, that's pretty cool. And do you play school ball, like modified or JV or anything?
Yeah,
too?
I play modified.
Modified. Which school district are you?
I go to Monroe Woodbury Middle School.
Monroe Woodbury. All right, cool. What's been the I guess the biggest, when you go between modified and travel, what's the biggest difference between the two games for you?
The size of the field and like pitchers, because like in travel for like smash, pitchers usually throw like fastballs and changeups and stuff. And then like modified, they throw like a lot of curveballs and sliders and like different pitches.
Okay, so they're throwing more consistent fastballs and changeups then, and the field is bigger in modified or at with travel.
Modified is the mound is 60 feet away, and then the bases are 90 feet away, and then travel, I'm pretty sure the mound is like 50, and the bases are like 70.
Mhm. What's been your favorite place that you've played at so far with the travel team?
I think it was probably where our championship game was in the fall season.
Okay. Was that in Cooperstown?
No, we're going to Cooperstown in the summer.
Okay, cool. You guys are
I
going.
think it was in Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay. You guys are going to Ripken this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool place. I've been there myself. You excited about that trip?
Yeah, it's gonna be my first time.
Oh, you've not been there yet. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. If I ask you this question again in another week or so, you might change your answer. That's a beautiful place. That's a cool place to play. You're gonna enjoy it. I've only been there as an announcer. I never played there, but I've been to the place and it's cool. You're gonna like it. I guess my last question for you is, what's been your favorite baseball memory in over the years? Like, is there a game or a play or a moment that stands out in your memory?
Probably like a memory last season, but it was like it wasn't funny when it happened, but like now that I think about it, it's kind of funny.
Okay, yeah.
So basically, it was like 2 outs, and it was a pop up to me and the shortstop on my team.
Yeah.
And we both like said that we had it, and like we ran into each other.
And no one got it.
No, I caught it.
Oh, you did catch it. So you clunked heads, but you still caught it. Good job. Oh, that's cool.
It wasn't funny like when it happened.
No, of course not. It probably hurt.
Yeah, when we think back, like we always laugh at it now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sometimes the best memories are the ones that you hated when they happened, and then later on you think they're hilarious. I'll tell you a funny story. So years ago, I was working at a radio station, and I was doing what they call cutting up tape, which is basically just creating highlights to play back later, like announcers calling home runs or whatever. And the Yankees were playing the Mets, and the Yankee announcer, John Sterling, is really fun, but he gets things wrong a lot. And the Mets announcer, Howie Rose, is a little more boring, but he always gets everything accurate, right? He's more consistent. So because I was an intern, meaning I wasn't actually paid to be there, I was just kind of volunteering basically, they wouldn't let me do the Mets. They only let me do the Yankees because the station had a lot to do with the Mets. So they're playing each other, and one of the Mets second baseman at the time, his name was Luis Castillo. He drops a routine fly ball. He was probably just onto the outfield grass, maybe 5 feet on the outfield grass, and just lost it in the sun or something. He just dropped it, and it cost them the Mets the game. And I'm listening to John Sterling do this, and he got the call wrong 3 times. So, and again, I'm not seeing the game. I'm just listening to it. So I have no idea what happened, right? I'm just confused. So then I go and listen to the Met call, and the guy called it just like a fly ball that was dropped. And I was like, oh, so it was the same call. One couldn't know what happened. The other one was like a routine play. So that was at the time, that was one of mine where I wasn't laughing then because I was frustrated because I was trying to get this done. But now when I think back on it, I think it's funny because it's like, man, it's the same call. And one guy said it's so easy. The other guy made it so confusing.
And he just keep getting it wrong.
Yeah, just got it wrong 3 times. First it was he had it, then it was an error, then it was a fielder's choice. He just didn't get it right. And it was just confusing. So it would have been the type of thing that if you were watching the game on TV, there was nothing confusing about it. It was just the guy lost the ball in the sun and didn't catch a fly ball. That's all it was. But you wouldn't know that from listening to it. Anyway, hey, good luck. Have fun on your trip to Ripken this year. And thanks for joining us, okay?
Bye. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Byron. And that is Byron Brach. This is the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave. All righty. Good stuff there from Brody Grote and Byron Brach. And we have one more Smash interview. Here's Andrew Llewellyn. After this, we'll go directly into hour 2. We'll have Rich Anselmo. So take a listen. Andrew Llewellyn. All righty, welcome back to the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave. Great to have you aboard. We're joined now by one of our OC Smash Players of the Week, Andrew Llewellyn, his father, one of the coaches for the organization. We spoke to Mark a couple of weeks ago. You might remember the last name. Here's his son, Andrew, part of the OC Smash. What's up, man?
Hello, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Awesome. So now take me back to the beginning here. How long have you been playing baseball overall?
Maybe since I was like 4 or 5.
Okay. And in that time, how long have you been doing travel baseball?
Maybe like 4.
4 years? Or since you were 4?
My bad, 5 years on that.
Okay. So you've been playing for 5 years, travel ball. Okay. Is that all with the Smash?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What position do you play?
Pitcher, third base, and part of the outfield.
Cool. So all over the place. Do you have a favorite spot to play?
Pitcher.
Yeah. You throw left-handed or right-handed?
I'm a righty.
Righty. What's your out pitch? You get someone down 2 strikes. What are you going with to get them out?
Curveball.
Curveball. Throwing a curveball already, huh? When did you start throwing a curveball?
This year.
Oh, you just learned it. Have you taken to the pitch? Like, how much practice has it taken? You pretty comfortable with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You must practice it a lot, I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. What's your favorite element of baseball? Is it pitching? Is it hitting, running? Like, what's your fielding? What's your favorite part of the game?
Hitting.
Oh, okay. So you got this curveball, but you like hitting. All right. And are you a righty hitter too, or do you bat lefty?
I'm a righty hitter.
Oh, okay, cool. I guess when you're at the plate, let's say you're down 2 strikes, what's your approach to try to avoid striking out?
I have to sit back and wait for the off speed, and if he throws a fastball, just try and foul it off.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. What do you spend the most time practicing? Like, do you practice your pitching the most, hitting, fielding? Like, where do you spend most of your practice time?
Probably hitting.
Yeah. Different situations, different counts, like tees, like a bunch of different stuff. I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How often do you guys practice? Like, how many times a week?
Like my team?
Yeah.
Once or twice a week.
Okay. Do you personally do more than that, like elsewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Okay. Because you said my team, so I wasn't sure if you did a little bit more yourself. What's been your favorite place to play of all the places you've gotten to travel playing with the Smash? What's been your favorite location?
Sports at the Beach.
Which one?
Sports at the Beach.
Where's that?
Delaware.
Oh, it's in Delaware. Cool. Yeah, it's a new one. I haven't heard that one before. When did you go there? Last year?
Yeah, last summer.
Cool. That's awesome. What did you like so much about it? What was your favorite part about it?
Just the experience.
Okay. Was it like, could you see the beach from where the fields were? Like,
no.
Okay. Yeah, when you said sports at the beach, I wasn't sure where it was because I know Delaware has a lot of water around it. All right, cool. Now what's the biggest, do you play besides travel ball? Do you play like modified or little league or anything else?
Yeah, I play little league for my town.
Okay. What's the biggest difference between travel and little league for you in terms of the games themselves? Obviously you don't travel as much with little league. I know that, but the actual games.
Definitely the size of the field.
Which one's bigger?
Travel.
Travel's bigger. Okay. Do you find the competition is any different?
Yeah.
Okay. Which one's tougher?
Definitely travel.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Hey, I want to just ask you, Dad, a couple of things real quick.
Sure. Go ahead, Gary.
Hey, Mark. I'm curious, from your perspective. So you have a son, who's obviously playing with the Smash. You're obviously one of the coaches, but you're not the coach on his team. What's that whole dynamic like? Do you vacillate between dad mode and coach mode, even though you're not technically coach there?
Well, actually, I'm one of the assistants with 12U.
Oh, you are? Okay. I thought you had your head coach in another spot.
I do. Maybe I'm nuts, but
oh, you're pulling double duty.
I am.
I didn't know that. Okay.
But I would say, you know, I have a good relationship with the other coaches, and I think I have found through the years, especially as Andrew's gotten older, that my voice isn't always the best voice, whether it's even sometimes positive things during a game. So I really hand off things to his manager, Adam, or his other assistant coach, RJ, and they're great with the boys. They're great with Andrew. You know, games sometimes aren't always the place to fix everything. Kids are going to, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to learn from them. Not everything needs to be addressed, all the time, right away. And obviously if he's pitching something with his mechanics, the other guys know him well and can go out and talk to him. Or if he's doing something, maybe he's not swinging the bat well that game. I know RJ usually handles our hitting and can maybe just give him a little tidbit or something to help in his next at bat. So I try to be a little more hands off with Andrew. I'm the first base coach. I'll talk to him like any other player at first base. And, all things I tell them about heads up and the guys move to first and watch the signs and, things like, watch RJ, who's our third base coach. So in that regard, it's the same, but I try to leave dad out of it. And if there's anything that, I might be getting emotional about, I've learned it's never worth it. And it just takes away from his experience for the day.
Yeah.
So I let the guys handle it.
Leave it alone. Yeah. Are you ever able to just like watch a game, like without like just sit back and enjoy a game with one of your sons playing?
Yeah. Funny you say that. Like a few times I've maybe had to work a weekend and I can get to a game late. And so there's a few guys that I know Adam will ask to help coach first and help out. And I'll show up and I'll just sit in the stands, or sit behind the dugout and just watch. And it is nice sometimes. It's nice to just do that because it's a different perspective. It's watching your son and all the other kids that you've had for all these years, do their thing and enjoy that. And so, every once in a while, I wish I was just in the stands, all the time.
Yeah, sure.
But but it is it's nice once in a while to do that and watch your kids, whatever they do, whether they have a good game, whether they have a tough game. That's baseball. That's sports in general.
That's
and
how it goes. Yep.
You don't have to live and die on every moment or every outcome of every play, or that's just not what sports are about. It's just overall growth and it's a process. And so, it's been nice with Andrew. I haven't had the luxury of that with my little guy yet. But with Andrew's team, a few times I've been able to just watch.
And I guess my last question, kind of the reason I asked that one was, if you have that one of those rare opportunities, just kind of watch, do you enjoy watching him pitch or hit or play the field? Like what part of it is most enjoyable for you?
If I had to pick one, I'd say watch him pitch. He's been pitching since he was pretty young. Something something that he's pretty good at. A lot of good outcome, a lot of good outings over the years, and it's been nice to watch him manage his emotions better, manage the game tempo better as kids get older. Learning to slow yourself down, learning to slow the game down at times. Learning to slow runners down by just all the maturity that comes with the game and how to manage the game as the pitcher, and you're most in control. And so Andrew's worked with an old friend of mine who did some pitching at the major league level, not the majors, but was in the minor leagues for years, and a guy that I played with when I was young, and Andrew's worked with him over a couple of years and has really helped him with his mechanics. So it's nice to watch all those things, watch those outcomes and watch him kind of figure it out if he's in a bad way or, he walked a couple kids, try to, it's cool to watch that. So.
No, that's awesome. All right. I want to ask Andrew one or two more things real quick. Hey Andrew, what's been your favorite baseball memory to this point? Whether it's a game or a particular play or maybe a place. Like, what's been your favorite baseball memory to this point?
That's tough. Probably the district championship.
That was what, last year?
Yeah, last summer.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. Where'd you guys play that one? Was that in Cooperstown or was that somewhere else?
Well, no, it was the District 19 championship for All-Stars.
Oh.
And playing in Pine Bush against Washingtonville. And it was in the 4th inning. We were down by like 8 runs, and then we came all the way back and won.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow, that's really cool. How many innings do you guys play in those games?
6.
Oh, so you came back from down. How much were you down? 8? Oh, man. So you scored more than 8 runs in 2 innings. That must have been crazy.
That was fun. That was fun.
That must have been nuts. And I guess my last thing for you, Andrew, who's your favorite major leaguer?
Ooh. Try Francisco Lindor.
Another Met guy. All right. There's a precious few of us. I'm a Pete Alonso guy myself. But yeah, Lindor is a good player. What makes him your favorite? What do you like so much about him?
He's just so fun to watch.
Yeah, when he's not striking out. Sorry. When you get old like me, you become cynical. Your dad probably understands.
For Francisco. Better things to come, we hope.
That's right. Well, hey, Andrew, thanks for joining us today. Congratulations and enjoy your season, all right?
Thank you.
All righty, thanks. That's Andrew Llewellyn. This is the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave. All righty, good stuff there from our OC Smash Players of the Week. Andrew Llewellyn, Brady Grote, and Byron Brach. Good job by all of them. Really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Like I said, I'm just very, very happy to be able to provide that platform and cover these games. It really is good. It really truly is. So good stuff. And we welcome on Rich Anselmo for hour 2. What's up, man? He's not here yet, of course, because I didn't call him because I'm an idiot. That's how that works. Yeah, so good stuff from the guys. We're gonna bring Rich on right now, and we got a lot more to get to this hour. A lot of basketball, a lot of baseball, a lot of NBA. We'll have Seth Kamens in a little bit. He'll join us. We'll talk some NBA there. We bring on Rich Anselmo right now, though. What's up, Rich?
How you doing this morning, Gary?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. So ultimately, last night, I have to tell you, both games were monumental in totally different ways.
Yes, they were.
I want to start with the Knicks. To me, they always say there's no such thing as a moral victory. Douglas MacArthur would say there's no substitute for victory. But no one ever talks about a depressing victory. And I think that's maybe the best description of last night for the Knicks. I mean, yeah, they won. They needed to. They did. So, ultimately that's good. But I have to tell you, Brunson played, Randall played, both played very well. Barrett played great. The Knicks played about as good as the Knicks can play. No Jimmy Butler, and the Heat barely lost. I would be worried as hell if I was the Knicks, and I would be amped as hell if I was Miami.
I would too. If Butler plays game 3 and is all right, so if it's not a Chris Paul situation.
Yes.
I would be too. I would be concerned.
I mean, even if Butler doesn't play, Miami's probably thinking we can hang with these guys. Although if Butler doesn't play, Miami also has to be thinking that was the best they could possibly ever hope for. I mean, I think it's probably fair to say that Caleb Martin had the game of his life. Gabe Vincent had one of the best games of his life. And
Vincent's been doing that, though, through the playoffs.
Yeah, he has. That's why that was a little less unusual for him. But
Martin hasn't played that many minutes. So
Right.
Hey, like we say, every time we do this, these guys can come off a bench, most players in the NBA, and light it up.
Yep. We saw it. I mean, Oof, that was a scary. I'm watching this game last night and I'm like screaming at the television. Like, come on, guys. Like what is going on? And they still don't have Tyler Hero. He's out for I think the whole playoffs of the broken.
Oh, he's
hand.
done. So's Victor Oladipo.
Right. I mean, that was a scary loss. A scary win. That was a scary win. That was probably like one of the most scary wins of a team I've ever rooted for. Like, because they won, but you feel like they lost something in the process. At least I do. Because
the Knicks are probably, and I felt this way before the series, but I am concerned as you are. They're probably going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. That is a nice little gift because with Butler and Hero, I don't feel confident that would have been the same result.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine Miami winning this series without Butler coming back.
Yes. And Hero was just the dot on the I that
yes,
Miami needed and don't have. And if you do advance, you go up against the MVP, which is never easy to do. Although I'll tell you what, you can take the MVP, no Embiid, no Jokic, and throw it away. Because in the second game last night, I saw the two MVPs in the league.
Yeah. Anthony Davis?
Nope.
Okay. Who you got?
I saw LeBron.
Yep.
I saw Steph Curry.
Yep.
And AD would be 3.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you transitioned.
LeBron didn't shoot great, but he made plays on both ends and was amazing. Curry, for crying out loud, you could be down 20 and he's dangerous.
It's so true. It really is true.
He can bring a team back in a heartbeat. And if you notice, a lot of these shots, the further away he gets, that net does not move.
It's ridiculous. And usually they're with guys draped all over him.
There's no like hitting the rim and getting a shooter's bounce.
No.
His shooter's bounce is when the ball bounces on the floor.
It's true.
This may be the best shooter I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. I think it's hard to. I mean, I think there's really probably only 2 guys that you could even 2 or 3 guys that you can even put in his class. One of them would be Jerry West.
Mm-hmm.
Another would probably be Ray Allen and maybe Reggie Miller. And that's like the whole. Yeah. That's it. But I think it's really just him and Jerry West because
I do too, because Ray Allen or Reggie Miller didn't drive the way he does.
That's right.
And never set picks.
Right. And
this guy does offensively, he does everything.
And they didn't shoot off the dribble the same way he does.
No.
West did.
Yes.
I think it's those 2. I think those are the 2 best shooters who have ever played basketball.
I agree. And LeBron is just LeBron.
Yes.
Doing LeBron things.
One of one.
I've run out of adjectives.
Yeah.
I have no more.
LeBron doing LeBron stuff. That's the best way to put it.
Pretty much it. And AD did what AD should have done. It's the first 30-20 game the Lakers had since Shaq in the playoffs. And I don't know if they mentioned that on the broadcast or not, because I was watching the Kraken game as well. And I mean, just incredible. They have no answer for AD. Looney still had 23 rebounds. I mean, he boards.
I was talking about that in my opening rant, that matchup. I mean, that was fun. That was probably, I mean, I can't have fun in this series. I'm a nervous wreck. I mean, I love the Lakers and I hate the Warriors. So there's no way I'm going to be jovial watching these games. I'm a miserable person to be around for these 2 hours. I definitely am. This is one of those series I have to watch by myself with Yukon Jack and nothing else. Even my cats don't want to be around me with this thing. Because I'm loud. I'm jumping up and down. I'm screaming. I'm a disaster with this. The Knicks one I can watch with more enjoyment. I'm rooting for the Knicks, but I don't have a visceral disdain for the Heat. I don't have any feelings for the Heat. They're a good team. Right. They're a fine team. And whatever. And I'm also not a Knicks fan, although I like to see them win because it's better for my city and my job.
It's good for the city. It's
Right.
good for the league.
Exactly. But I'm a Laker fan through and
I'm
through.
not. I don't have a dog in the fight, Gary. I don't dislike the Warriors the way you do.
Yep.
I don't dislike the Lakers.
Right.
I like both teams. In fact, I want to see 7 games of
Oh
this.
God, you're gonna drive me to drink, man. I'm gonna be drunk. I'm gonna have as much hair as you by the end of this. If we go 7 games, I'm gonna pull it all out.
Oh man. Wow. That's at least mine's voluntary. Yours is Laker driven.
Mine will not be
Oh,
voluntary.
I felt that way watching the Kraken game.
Yes, so you understand.
I can't yell.
Right.
I dropped some F-bombs.
F-bombs
but
are
I-
always useful.
But I can't really yell. I can't do any of that. I'm sitting there just going in my chair because when something upset me, and I'm going back and forth between the games, and after a while, the Kraken game started to get a little hairy. I went straight to the basketball. Said, I can't do this.
I can't take this anymore. Yeah. See, I was at
Then that went into overtime, and I
Oh.
just about flipped my stuff.
Oh man.
It was a great sports night.
Oh, it really was.
I had 2 great NBA games, 2 great NHL games, and 2 screens.
Yeah, this was amazing. I mean, one other thing I wanted to talk about from the game itself. Well, 2 things. One is you mentioned Looney. I think that was my favorite part of the game, was just watching him and Davis battle on the boards. I mean, this was a clash of titans. They both had 20 rebounds. Although I will say one thing I noticed, and the announcer pointed it out, it was a good bit of analysis. And I think it was it Stan Van Gundy calling that game? I know it was Brian Anderson. I forget who he was with.
Stan Van was doing
it
the
was Van
color,
Gundy.
yes.
Yeah. He made.
I love him too, by the way.
He's great.
He's incredible.
Oh, he's great. He made a great point. After Looney, there was one possession where Looney got like 2 offensive rebounds. He got like the initial one, went for a putback, missed it, got it back, and put it in a second time. And during that sequence, Van Gundy pointed out the fact that Davis was out contesting a shot somewhere else. I think it was maybe Wiggins, or it might have been Green, whatever. He was away from the basket, and Van Gundy pointed that fact out and said, Looney's a great offensive rebounder, maybe the best in the league, but it's a lot different when Anthony Davis is 15 feet, 20 feet away from the basket than when he's right there. Davis, as we've seen in this game, more than holds his own against Looney. When Davis is there, Looney's not getting 2 and 3 attempts on an offensive putback. And
he did a couple times.
Yeah, but a lot of those times,
but it's not happening regularly.
Davis wasn't by the basket. Sometimes he was, but that was
when
Van Gundy's
Davis
point.
is near him, he's only gotten a couple.
Right.
He's gotten a couple.
And that was Van
But-
Gundy's point. When Davis is there, it's basically a battle royale. When Davis
And
is
you
not
want to
there,
know something? If you're out 15 to 20 feet away chasing Draymond Green, son, what's wrong with you?
well, there's that. I don't know who he was chasing. I didn't see.
Let
the
him
play.
shoot.
Yeah, I didn't see the
Let
play.
him shoot.
It could have been Wiggins. It could have been maybe he was on some kind of screen on a switch. Like, I don't know. But in any event,
And if I hear one more person say, well, Draymond Green's the glue on that team. No, Draymond Green played like crap.
yeah, he wasn't.
Kevon Looney's the glue on that
Yeah, he
team.
is.
Start giving him the credit.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh,
I completely agree. The last thing I wanted to say about this game, I opened today with this, and I want your take. This is why a game like this is exactly the reason why we get on Anthony Davis the way we do. To those who much is given, much is expected, right? Like,
yes.
I mean, the reason you go crazy and you scream and go nuts about him like being made out of plexiglass is because you know what this guy's capable of when he's right. I mean, there's not 7 players in the world better than him when he's right. There's not. The guy's a monster. He's every bit as good as Embiid. He's every bit as good as Jokic. He's every bit as good as KD. The guy's an absolute monster.
That's why, just like you said, we get on him. I don't get on him because I hate him.
Right, because you know what he's capable of.
I get on him because he doesn't do what he should.
Right. That's exactly right.
And I'm afraid of that happening still because there are so many battle scars you get after watching him for so long. But it looks like he's got it together. Let's hope it stays that way. Oh, like I said, you could take Embiid and Jokic. I had 3 MVPs in that game last night. And watching them play is a thrill.
Oh, it was great. Well, that just goes to show you there's a lot of MVPs in any given year in the NBA. Jokic certainly did nothing to discredit his candidacy with his last game. What, did he get 39 points and 16 rebounds?
He did nothing to discredit himself all year long.
Yep. So amazing stuff. Really
and
stuff.
Embiid came on in the second half of the year and took that MVP.
Yeah, he did.
And it was earned.
It was earned. Yep. No.
But I'll tell you what, who would I rather watch in a game? LeBron and Curry.
Yes. Yeah, well, they're box office. I mean, they've carried the NBA in a box office setting for 2 decades, right? Well, in Curry's case, 1.5 decades, in LeBron's case, 2 decades.
Yes.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. If you asked the average person, forget basketball fan, just the average person, who's the best player in basketball? Or who's your favorite basketball player? Or who plays in the NBA? And they knew nothing about basketball. They would say LeBron or Curry. Like, grandmothers around the country know who both of those guys are.
I have a friend in France. She has 2 boys. And she goes, I don't know much about sports, but my sons know about LeBron James and Steph Curry.
Yep. That's it.
And that's pretty much it.
That's what you're exactly. That's exactly right.
She knows them and Lionel Messi, and that's it.
That's wild.
So that pretty much shows you those are the 3 big names on a worldwide stage.
Yep, absolutely. No question about it.
But I will give Embiid the props that some people aren't giving him because they felt it should have been Jokic. I felt it should have been Jokic. But, man, Embiid averaged 33.1 this year, almost 55% from the floor, 4.2 assists a game. He tied his career high and averaged over 10 rebounds. Not a bad season's work.
No.
Now, you can argue the same thing for Jokic's numbers. I mean, he was 0.2 of an assist off of a triple-double. You don't go wrong either way. But, yeah, box office was game 2.
Oh, it really was.
And I enjoyed every second of it.
Oh, it was epic. The whole game was epic.
It was.
Yeah, it really was. You got anything in baseball today? Anything interesting? I know you watch a whole ton of baseball.
Well, I didn't yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I got one thing to say, and we'll talk
go ahead, please.
With Joe Basile tomorrow of the Renegades about this. But the Yankees' 3rd highest rated prospect in their entire organization, and I don't know how long this will last, plays with the Renegades right now in single A. His name is Spencer Jones. The guy's an absolute
I know him.
stud. 6'6",
Get out to see him.
225. Yeah, no, I've seen him twice already.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because he ain't going to be there long. And this is what I was talking about yesterday. If I'm the Yankees, I'm worried right now because it's very clear Judge and Stanton are your whole lineup basically. Torres is underachieved. Rizzo is on the wrong side of 30. LeMahieu, same thing. He seems to be deteriorating. That lineup is not that potent. It's passable and decent when Judge and Stanton are in, but it's never elite. It's just those 2 guys. Right. And their farm system is not like loaded with talent. So, and they don't exactly have a great track record. Cashman in particular does not have a good track record with pitching, with starting pitching. Cole is a notable exception, but I mean, there's been a lot of Carl Pavanos and Kevin Browns and Randy Johnsons over the years that really blew up in his face. I have to tell you, if I'm a Yankee fan, I'm worried, like, not just like this year. I'm kind of worried about like, what's this team going to be going forward. Because I think they're due for a rebuild, but I don't have any confidence, A, that they'll take that approach, and B, if they did, that they would do it successfully. I think they need a whole organizational refresh. I really do. But it's the guy doing the refreshing that you're worried about, right? Hal Steinbrenner's, not his father. He's not even his brother, of course, who died. Hank was, of the two, the more baseball oriented.
Well, they don't rebuild.
No.
It's not in their DNA, and they're not going to. But they have to do something. You need a change in philosophy. The game is changing back to what the game should have been.
Yep.
Did you see what Max Scherzer said?
No.
In The Athletic, he said, be ready for this. This pitch clock is going to knock people out. Personally, I have to look at this as, what's the worst case scenario? Yeah, pitchers start dropping. The injury bug is going to be coming across the league.
What?
Little drastic.
I mean, like pitchers weren't dropping already? Isn't it like a rite of passage to get Tommy John surgery as a pitcher the last 20 years? Like, how much worse could it actually get? I mean, really. I bet you somewhere around 25% of major league pitchers have had Tommy John surgery at some point in their life.
I believe it.
It might be higher.
Hey, Bryce Harper had it.
Yes, and he's back.
Yeah.
Beast. Yeah, he's a guy that even though he plays for a rival team, you talk about box office. Bryce Harper's as box office gets. I mean, he might be the most interesting player in baseball. Him and Ohtani, those two.
Oh, yeah.
Ohtani's probably number one because of the uniqueness of what he does. But I think Harper is clearly number two. Even more than Trout.
Even though Trout is a generational talent.
Yeah, Trout is Tim Duncan.
And just look at the year he's having, Trout.
Yes, probably the better player. But,
I get you, though. I really do.
But Harper is, he's Kevin Garnett. He's loud. He's exciting. He's more flashy. He's more box office. Even though if you asked me who the better player was, I would answer Mike Trout.
Right.
But, I would take Tim Duncan over Garnett. But if I needed to sell tickets, they didn't call him the big ticket for no reason. I'll take Garnett.
Right. Right.
So.
Brandon Nimmo made a point, too, that batters and players traveling around the bases could experience an increased risk of injury due to the clock. How? How? You're not timed running around the bases. There's no clock on that.
It's true.
I don't understand what these guys are talking about, and I'm tired of bitching.
Yeah, I mean, Blake Snell said he was asked in an ESPN report along with a few others, his favorite things about the new rules and least favorite things. And his favorite thing was, quote, none that I can think of. Oh, please. This is what I was talking about before in the context of the question of the day. Any change to the game is going to upset the players and the people working and playing in the game more disproportionately. That's okay. It's a factor in consideration, and you have to determine, is the juice worth the squeeze? Because the question today was, should golf institute similar, some type of pace of play regulation, like baseball did, because of something Lee Trevino had said. Basically slower players, slowing things down for others, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I think that, my default position is, why not? I don't follow golf enough to really care that much. But I did say, this is the crux of my point, that you have to weigh how much you're going to gain from increased viewership or increased engagement with your existing viewership versus the blowback you're going to get from your players. Because you're going to get blowback from players when you change the game because you're changing their routine and they love their routine. So in the case of golf, I don't know that you would gain a whole lot because I feel like people that watch golf on TV, like truly watch golf on TV, they're not in the rush to do anything. If you watch golf on TV, you're down with slow pace. You have to be, right?
Right.
Like that's the whole.
I don't hear people complaining about the pace in golf.
Fans don't,
like they did in baseball.
Right, exactly. So, but in baseball, these players have to understand that, you're the product. You're not the customer. You're paid what you're paid because you are a desired product. And the people consuming your product were getting bored because it was boring. Like, you just have to accept that.
That is true.
And they'll make adjustments. What choice do they have? They're not going to walk away from those careers, right? So they'll make adjustments and then they'll continue on. That's just what it is. So anyway, all right. We got Seth Kamens coming up. We're going to take just a 2-minute break. We'll come right back. We'll talk to him. We got some more NBA. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
You own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
All righty, we're back here on the Gary Ayd Show. We're joined by Seth Kamens from Back Sports Page talking NBA basketball, maybe a little NFL draft. What's up, Seth?
Living the dream, man. Living the dream. How you doing, Gary?
I survived not one, but 2 nightmares last night. One was just, I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm a Laker fan, but I always root for the Knicks unless they're playing the Lakers because it makes the city better. It makes the sport better. It makes my show better. And I have to tell you, we were texting a little bit last night about this. If there's no such thing as moral victories, is there such a thing as sullen wins? Because I got to tell you, coming away from this game, no Jimmy Butler, no Tyler Hero. You're at home. Your backs are against the wall. Both your best players play and play well. All 3 of your best players play about as well as they can play, and you barely win.
You win by 4.
That's got to be bad omen, right? If you're the Knicks.
I mean, I would think so. we were texting, I think, with about 1 minute, 2 minutes to go. And look, Brunson was sensational in the second half. Josh Hart is a really nice player. And I'm someone I don't root for. I'm laughing. I root for none of these teams in the East. None of these teams are likable to me. But I'm saying to myself, you have a team led by literally Gabe Vincent and Duncan Robinson off the dustbin and Lowry, and they're barely holding on here. And good for the Knicks to have a home win with all, it's the loudest you've heard that arena in God knows how many years. But I would not be overstepping, that they barely held on without Jimmy Butler.
Right. Now, the one bit of unknown potential saving grace for the Knicks is you could turn this around and say Miami played out of its mind without Butler and without Hero and played better than they probably could ever play again, still lost. And we don't know when Butler's coming back. So if Butler doesn't play again, you could also make the argument, I think very fairly, that, the Miami Heat aren't going to play this good again without Butler. I think that's probably likely too.
Sure. But at home, they may not have to.
Well, right. You can switch the series back to Florida. Right. The other thing about this, though, I want to give some credit to Julius Randle. What Brunson did in the second half wouldn't have mattered if Randle hadn't been a beast in the first half and because they were down at one point in this game multiple times. Yeah. He kept them in it. He was the only one scoring through much of that first half for the Knicks.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's certainly not 100%, but he's a good player.
Yep.
He's not the number one on a championship team. He's probably not the number two on a championship team, but he is a good player. And look, a lot of players are injured at this time of year, and good for him, as you said, gutting it out. And now they got to get a split in Miami, which, contingent on Butler's ankle, they should be able to do. But I look at these teams and say, man, does this feel like a championship caliber team? Do either of these teams feel like a championship caliber team or a conference final team or a conference championship? No, I really don't.
Well, one of them is going to be in the conference finals, so.
Well, I mean, Boston looked absolutely awful in game one.
Yes, they did. Yeah. I've thought there was something wrong with them all year. They haven't felt right to me the whole season. And to be honest with you, that's why I had Philly. After Milwaukee was knocked out, to me, Philly, it was always Milwaukee or Philly coming out of the East to me. And I still feel that way. Obviously, at some point, they're going to need Joel Embiid back healthy. But Boston, I don't know, man. They really don't look right.
No, they don't. They don't. They haven't looked great this year. It almost reminds me, of these teams where you're good enough, where you won championships, and all you really got to do is make the playoffs, and you can turn it on, turn it off. Well, the Celtics have never won a title, and they're the most talented team, especially if what's his name is out. If Embiid is out, they're certainly the talented team in the East. But they look a little discombobulated. And look, James Harden pulled back, took 7 years off of his career, went back to the 2017, 2016, 2018 glory days last night or 2 nights ago. But they do have the talent to beat Boston without Embiid. I wouldn't favor them. But when you get Paul Reed giving you a double-double, what more can you, and hitting free throws in the last minute, what more can you ask for?
He's got a weird free throw form, too. It's like a shot put almost. I couldn't believe they both went in. One thing I was going to add to this, I think that's interesting, is that when you look at Philadelphia, and you look at when you look at Boston, I think it's a disjointedness on offense. They almost look like they're taking turns. They're not running fluid sets. They're not running fluid offense. And I got to tell you, I think that's probably coaching. I know, what Udoka did is undesirable. I don't know that it was necessarily the right thing to fire the guy if your plan was to win a title, because let's be honest, before he got there, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were heading for a split. They weren't playing well together. He figured out the secret sauce, and it's not as volatile as it was before him. But I think some of the disjointedness that we observe is they're kind of reverting to old habits of not playing together. And I think that's coaching.
Well, look, they didn't fire Udoka because of his coaching acumen.
Well, of course not. I know why they fired him. I'm just saying.
Udoka, I mean, I forget if he was the coach of the year or runner-up. He's an excellent coach. They fired him because he did something inappropriate where they couldn't literally keep it.
Right. So they got rid of him for a different reason. I understand that.
Yeah. So it's not like this was Brad Stevens saying, I don't feel he's the right fit. He's done something that literally you can't keep him for. And that was the decision that they made. Missoula was not supposed to be the head coach. Missoula was kind of thrown into this situation. He's done a pretty decent job. I mean, the team hasn't self-destructed. They just haven't been as good as last year.
Right.
Now, agreed. Jaylen Brown goes 5 for 7 in the first quarter and then takes 2 shots in the next 30 minutes. Doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense.
That makes no sense.
But I still think Boston is going to win the series. I do. Because I don't think this is Embiid's injury is not something it's not something you're going to come back in game 2 and be at 90%.
Right.
He's going to be at 40 to 50% the rest of the series. And with that, I think Boston's better. And also let's see how Harden. I mean, look, Harden has been.
Well, that was the best game. That was the best game of his career to this point. It was the most important game of his career where he literally.
It was the best playoff performance of his career.
No doubt about it.
He was absolutely brilliant. And maybe it was, the last 4 years, I mean, really the last 5-6 years after they lost to Golden State, the Houston team was just a bunch, fell apart. And then, he goes to Brooklyn, and he has Durant and Irving, and he transitions his game to more of a point guard than a scorer. And then he comes to Philly, and it's a similar situation because of Embiid. And this is where he kind of had to go back to what he did in the mid-teens. 5, 7, 8 years ago, where he was the premier scorer in the league. But can he do that for 5 games, 6 games, 7 games? Nobody really knows.
Right.
It's an interesting series. It's not a bad series. It would have been much more. I mean, the first game was fantastic. Was great to watch. First game of all these series has been great to watch.
That's been a lot of fun.
I mean, last night with Golden State Lakers was sensational.
No, that was a great game. And I was going to ask you about that. I mean, I opened my show today saying, I think that if you really look at it, the reason Anthony Davis gets, chewed out for never being available is because to who is given much is expected, right? When this guy's right, there's not 5 players in the world better than him. He's every bit as good as Durant. He's every bit as good as Embiid. He's every bit as good as Jokic. This guy is every bit as good as anybody you want to put out there. I don't care who it is. On any given night, he can be the best player in the world. And when he's healthy, he's one of the 8 best players in the world anytime he plays healthy. Like, that's what he is. And that's why it drives you crazy when he's not available. I mean, the guy's a beast.
Yeah. I mean, but the problem is a lot of the injuries have been because he has not kept himself in shape. And that's where the criticism has come.
Right. Oh, no, and it's valid criticism. I'm not disputing it. I'm saying,
from a talent perspective, there are very few people who can D up like him, play down low like him, pass like him, and shoot from the perimeter like him. He's incredibly well-rounded. I wouldn't put him at the Durant Embiid level, but he's pretty damn close.
Yeah, I mean, because he's just a beast.
The question is, he was. I think what did he go for 30, 20, and 5 last night?
Yep. That's exactly what he went for.
And look, it's a good matchup because they had Golden State is not a bad matchup for the Lakers. Look, nobody can guard LeBron. That is what it is. Yes. You're going to put Draymond on him, fine, or Wiggins on him. Like, he's LeBron, doesn't matter. But Davis is a matchup nightmare, and we'll see how. But this again, look, if he to say he can play, if he plays like this, they can win a title. Sure. How many times has he played like this during the year? 10 times, 12 times?
Yeah, if that.
So,
right.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, nobody thinks the Lakers series is going to be over in 4.
No,
4 or 5.
God, of course not. No.
God, no.
No. Right.
So, if he can be 28 and 30 and 10, 25 and 12, they're going to win.
Yep.
But if he's going to be 17 and 9 and he's going to be, then they're not.
Right.
He's probably the key to the series.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. He is the key to the series. And that's why everyone gets upset when he's out all the time, because he is a key to this team. The other key to this series and team is I think Rob Pelinka should get Executive of the Year for what he did in the last month or so of the season, remaking this roster. I mean, the fact of the matter is this roster was dead in the water. With or without AD and LeBron, they didn't have the pieces. Now they have the pieces. You could still question their shooting. They shot only 24% from 3 yesterday, but they get to the free throw line because they're athletic, they're fast, and they create contact, and they make their free throws. And they have one guy every night. Last night it was Schroeder, who kind of pops up and gives you an unexpected scoring boom. They didn't have the ability with their roster to do that a month ago. They didn't.
Well, I think the other key is nobody saw Austin Reeves coming.
That's
Austin
true.
Reeves was, I mean, I watched college and barely knew of Austin Reeves. And he's a valid, legitimate starter on this team. Does a lot of stuff. Hachimura, maybe it's just because he's playing in Washington could kill anybody's career. Maybe that was why it was falling apart for him, but he's been wonderful. They're athletic, as you said. They are athletic. They are big. They are not a particularly good shooting team.
No.
And that will hurt them down the line.
Yes.
And LeBron, I think, is shooting 20% from three-point land in the playoffs so far. That's not sustainable if you want to win a championship. It just isn't. But who's more athletic than they are?
No, I mean that, and they have a nice deep bench. That athleticism you're talking about permeates their whole roster. It's not just LeBron and AD. Hachimura is very athletic. Certainly, Reeves is athletic. He kind of fills that Caruso role. They have a lot of athletes on this team. And yeah, you like to see it. I mean, I'm loving the playoffs this year. Let's put it that way. That this is must-watch television for me.
Yeah, it is for me as well. And even in Denver, Phoenix it's been interesting. Phoenix looks like they're in trouble.
Yeah, I think they're in a lot of trouble.
I think Denver, nobody talks about. Have you ever heard of one team get less talk than Denver?
I mean, no. I mean, I've talked about them some on this show, and pretty much anytime I do, it's pretty much what you just said, which is we should talk about these guys more because they're really good.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I mean, they are extremely talented. They are talented, but again, similar to the Lakers, where you have a different guy. I mean, Jamal Murray, who's been a playoff stud in the last few years, prior to injury and post-injury, was awful in Game 2. And Caldwell Pope comes up and hits 3 threes. Jokic is still a top 5 player in the league. Porter is athletic as hell. They are a good team, and everyone has slept on them because it's Denver. They clinched the 1 seed so early, no one gave them a thought. And let's be honest, the other 3 teams in the semifinals are just sexier. Golden State's the dynasty. The Lakers are LeBron and AD.
Yep.
Phoenix brings in Durant trying to win Paul a championship. What the heck is the Denver? Nobody cares about Denver.
They go out there and get it done. Yeah, man. Well, good stuff. When are you guys, you and Sean,
We're doing the show tomorrow.
Okay.
So we did our draft preview last week. Yep. I whipped them, which was solid by me. Bragging rights.
Absolutely.
And then we'll do a draft review, the ecstasy of being a Giant fan after this draft, except when you look at what the Eagles did. watching Sean's head just bow in shame when the Jets once again missed on a pick because they didn't trade up to get an offensive lineman. So we'll talk that. We'll talk NBA. It's going to be an NBA NFL draft.
Of course. Good stuff. Well, good stuff, man. Hey, enjoy it, and we'll talk to you again.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, man. Bye. That's Seth Kamens. This is the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this to wrap it up here on The Cave.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
All right, we're back. Last couple minutes of the show. Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave. Good to have you aboard. Interesting conversation there with Seth. We covered most of the NBA stuff there. He mentions Denver, and we do talk about them. We do. You and I.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, they are so good. And the one thing about them that I didn't see during the regular year is I didn't really see the defensive versatility of some of their wings. I didn't see Aaron Gordon becoming the willing lockdown defender he's become in the playoffs. I didn't see the maturity and discipline, the defensive discipline of Michael Porter. And I knew they got Bruce Brown, and I knew he would bring it because that's why he's in the league. But I've been very impressed with their discipline and tenacity guarding Kevin Durant in the first two games of this series. They've made him look bad at times, and that's bloody hard to do.
They have. They really have. He, especially in game two, he didn't shoot well and looked mediocre.
Yeah, and he turned the ball over a ton in game one. He shot the ball well enough in game one, but
yes,
he turned it over constantly.
That's true.
I mean, they've done a great job there. Now it goes to Phoenix. How much? This is an interesting question. How much of a deal is it for you home court in the NBA playoffs? Because on one hand, it statistically seems to matter quite a bit. On the other hand, I just don't know. When you watch these games, like Denver just looks better.
Yes. I don't think home court's going to matter that much. In fact, it hasn't in the NHL playoffs either. I think the team that plays better over the long haul wins.
Yeah.
I mean, there were 2 NHL games last night. Florida goes into Toronto for their game 1 and beats them. Seattle goes into Dallas, beats them. Road teams. Here you've had road teams. You've had Miami win a game in New York. In this series, you just had the Lakers win a game in Golden State, which is not an easy thing to do. I don't think it matters. I think who's playing better at the time. I mean, talent's going to win out 99% of the time.
Yes.
You get those outliers, but not that often.
It's interesting. All right, what do we got for any news we can use today? Anything off the wall, interesting, different?
Absolutely.
All right.
The New England Patriots in the draft traded back from 14 to 17 with the Steelers. It looked like nothing more than acquiring more draft picks. But they didn't do much. They swapped picks and only gave up a 4th rounder to move up in the 1st. An anonymous GM told Jason La Canfora that Belichick did it just to blank the Jets. He's so low because he knew the Steelers were going to take the kid the Jets wanted to take. I think the trades totally blindsided them. They were scrambling. And another executive told La Canfora he knew what he was doing. Bill will try to screw the Jets over every chance he gets.
That is absolutely true. He loves screwing over the Jets, almost sometimes to his own detriment, it feels like.
Yes.
Talk about a vendetta. Oh man. All right. What else we got? We got time for maybe one more.
Okay. Jalen Brunson did something that no Knicks player has done in 10 years. He became the first Knick since Carmelo Anthony to record at least 30 points in a playoff game in the Garden.
Wow. That's sad.
It is. But the funny thing is, Melo was there.
I know him and Stoudemire both were there.
Yeah.
You know, Melo, I'm surprised he doesn't have like a role on some team's bench. You know, like he's still perfectly capable of playing a role.
What's that said about Davis and being in shape?
Yeah.
Apply it twice to Melo.
Yeah, that's true. Fair points. All right. Well, good stuff. Well, good stuff today. We'll be back tomorrow. This is the Gary Ayd Show. See you then here on The Cave.